Lesson 83. Let's go ahead and start the warm-up or the mental math and then come back and see how you did. And I will get right back with you. So pause. All right, here are the answers to the mental math. We have a negative and a positive, and they are separated by division. So we look at how many negatives there are. There's one, so there's going to be one negative in the answer, because it was an odd number of negatives. So 60 divided by 3 is 20. We move the decimal over 6 times, and when we do that, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one, what you can do is think, all right, 150 divided by 5 is 30, so 100 divided by 5 is 20. This one, 10% of 120 is 12, and half of 12 is 6. That would be 5%. So we get 10% plus 5%. We get $18. This one, you move the decimal to the left 3 times, 0.5 grams. And then this one, 24 is 3/8 of n. So 1/8, if it's 3/8, 1/8 is going to be 8, because 24 divided by 3 is 8. So then 8/8 is 8 times 8, 64. Okay, those are tricky. So if that bothers you, that's okay. You're normal. Now let's jump into the lesson. We're going to talk about powers of 10 and multiplying powers of 10. And let's just start out by, let's say, doing, make sure my hand's on the paper, 10 cubed times 10 to the 4th, for example. Okay? And there is a trick that we will get 10 to the something or other. Let's check it out. This really means we've got 10 times 10 times 10, right? We got 3 tens. And then this one means we've got 4 tens. So all together we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 10 to the 7th. Okay? So the trick to this, though, is when multiplying, I want you to write this, multiplying powers of 10, we add, capitalize that, the exponents. Okay, now let's do a problem here. We've got 1.2 times 10 to the 5th and 3 times 10 to the 7th, and we're multiplying them together. Now the trick to do that is to take the numbers and multiply them together. So we are going to first multiply 1.2 times 3. Now 1.2 times 3 happens to be 3.6. Okay, so we first multiply those. Then we multiply the powers of 10. So we do 10 to the 5th times 10 to the 7th. And remember, we add the exponent. So 10 to the 5th times 10 to the 7th gives us 10 to the 5 plus 7, 10 to the 12th. And that's the final answer. That's in scientific notation. We have a decimal after the ones digit, and we added the exponent. So 3.6 times 10 to the 12th. Okay, the next one's not as easy because we're going to have to do 2 steps with it. We do multiply 4 and 3 together. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, and then 10 to the 6 times 10 to the 5th is 6 plus 5, 10 to the 11th. Now we have 12 times 10 to the 11th. That is actually not nice and neat scientific notation because our decimal point needs to be after the 1. So we did these in, I don't know, about 10 lessons ago, and putting the decimal back in. So how we do that is, let's first of all figure out what 1.2 is, put that in, 12 in scientific notation, and then we'll deal with that later. Okay, 12 is 1.2 times 10 to the 1. Okay, so that is actually 12. And then we've got this 10 to the 11th. So now that we've taken it this step, we can figure out what the final exponent is to our power of 10. And we do 1 plus 11 gives us 12. Okay? So this is review from here. So if you need to look back at that lesson. So today's real big thing is knowing that we multiply the numbers and we multiply the powers of 10. Okay? Let's go ahead and try the next one. Okay, so first off we do 2 times 3. That's not bad, right? 2 times 3 is 6. And then we do 10 to the 5th times 10 to the, or sorry, negative 5th to 10 to the negative 7. So what we do is negative 5, negative 7 would be 10 to the negative 12. Okay, negative 5 plus negative 7 is negative 12. Now that actually, to make it look more in proper scientific notation, we would give it the decimal and the 0 and just go ahead and do it. 6.0 times 10 to the negative 12. Okay, the next one, we're going to actually get another, it's going to be like example 2. So we've got 5 times 7, which is 35. So that's not nice scientific notation. 35 times 10 to the negative 5. Okay, 3 plus negative 8 is negative 5. Now we have to take care of that. 35 is the same as 3.5 times 10 to the 1, okay, times 10 to the negative 5, because that was before. And now we take those two together. We have a positive 1 and a negative 5, which makes a negative 4. 3.5 times 10 to the negative 4. Okay. Now you have the practice. I want you to go ahead and shut me off and do the practice. Check your answers in the back, or come back and see if you need the video. Come back and watch it. I have heard that people are watching my video not to see if they did it right or because they were stuck. There's a following of people watching my video out there that are just looking to see me make a mistake so that they might get candy. Okay? I find that quite funny, and it kind of challenges me to make sure I don't make any mistakes. So if you're in that group, game on. I'm going to do my best not to give you candy. All right. I'll see you back here when you... Okay, for this one, we're going to do 4.2 times 1.4, and it is perfectly okay to do that off to the side and practice your multiplying decimals. Keep those readily available, especially this spring we'll be taking Iowa tests and stuff, so it's good to still remember the process on how to do this. Okay, so we're doing our multiplication, add them, and then we're going to go ahead and count. We have 1, 2 decimal places, so we're going to count in 2. So we've got 5.88. And isn't that nice that they gave that this decimal is in the right spot to be scientific notation? That makes me happy. Okay, so we've got 5.88 times 10 to the 6 plus 3. So we're going to have 10 to the 9th. Okay, and I'm checking my work so that you candy seekers don't catch me this time. All right, that one is correct. All right, letter B. 5 times 3 is 15, so that one we're going to have to change into better into proper scientific notation. But before, I'm going to do the 5 plus 7 is 12, okay? Now 15 is 1.5 times 10 to the 1 times 10 to the 12th. Okay? So that is, the final answer is 1.5 times 10 to the 13th. All right. Next one is 2.1 times 4, which happens to be 8.4. So that was nice. Times 10 to the negative 3 plus negative 7. They're both negative. And so we add those 3 and 7, make a 10, and it's negative. 8.4 times 10 to the negative 10. Okay, so now we have 6 times 7 times 10 to the negative 7. So 42 times negative 7. So 42 is the same as 4.2 times 10 to the 1 times 10 to the negative 7. And so we've got 1 plus negative 7. And that is actually a negative 6. And there is your final answer on that. Okay, so I hope I didn't leave myself open with any mistakes, but if I did, I'm sure I will hear from you, and I will gladly give you your candy and your reward. All right, I will see you, or I won't see you because I'm on video. I really can't see any of you, and all you can see are my hands. But the next lesson we did in class, and then the next lesson you will watch another video. So I'll be back for that.